Informative speech by Godfrey, Professor Alatorre, Public Speaking, Section 81E. For my informative speech, I intend to inform my audience of the recent flooding in the Dakota Dunes area and the effects it has had on residents. The main reason behind the recent flooding has been the constant snowfall over the plains during the winter. The snowfall, added with above-average rainfall north of Dakota Dunes, has forced residents to take action as the water level of the Missouri River rises. Before the flood occurred, one of the threats Dakota Dunes residents had to live with was the possibility of having to evacuate. That day came on May 30th. South Dakota officials asked residents from Dakota Dunes, South Dakota to evacuate their homes by that coming Thursday. They were only given 3 days to clear out their possessions from their homes. No small act to pull off, considering there are currently 1,100 homes and 360 apartments in Dakota Dunes, a planned community created 20 years prior to the flooding in a sand dune area near the river. Because of how low the area is, many families were required to evacuate from their home in less than a week to avoid potential damages to their belongings, as the U.S. Army Corps set up plans to build a system of 2 separate levees to stop flooding. The reason for the evacuation, even after the construction of the levees, was because of the potential of one of the levees breaking. So the final decision was that anyone south of Dakota Circle was required to evacuate their homes. There's a picture of the flooding. 2 weeks after the evacuation, as you saw in the picture, there are homes lost on the border of the Missouri River in front of the protection of the levees. As of now, the levee is already holding back a staggering 10 feet of river water from the flooding plain community. As I said before, there are 2 levees built to protect the area, one along the border of Missouri and one behind the border levee. The second levee is currently not holding back any water, but is there for precautionary reasons to protect the rest of the community in case of a break. And here's a picture of the levee stopping floodwaters. A bit of interesting information that many people do not realize is the levee has been under constant surveillance and maintenance for the past 2 months. Every night, the South Dakota National Guard watches over the water levels and keeps track of any weaknesses in the levee. They also guard the residential area heading into the zone between 1 and 2 levees. Many people also do not realize that there has been problems with the border levee that have never been announced. The reason for this being that there has always been enough time to call on a 24/7 station contractor to restructure the problem area. That is one of the reasons that South Dakota officials have not allowed people to move back in as well. Dennis Melstad of Dakota Dunes said, "Although we have confidence in our constant maintenance of the levee, we still do not want to risk the lives of any Dakota Dunes residents in case there is ever a problem." South Dakota officials, however, are now allowing people to visit their homes and keep track of any damages, but they still do not want residents living in between the first and second levees. It has almost been 3 months since the disaster started, and the Missouri River is still at dangerous levels and may stay that way until the second week of December. I have confidence in the levee system, keeping the area safe, and I am proud of the effort that the government, the U.S. officials, and flood volunteers put into helping the residents of the Dakota Dunes area. Thank you for your time.